Okay. Yeah. So basic part is we are not doing this one yet, but I need the statement what I'm going to use. Okay. So I can delete this stuff from here. Basically, this will help me to know what all columns am I getting. That is first name, last name, and phone number, right? I would like to add one more column to here. I'll name that column as an what? Phone type column, and the data type. Okay. Okay, it's not letting me choose any data type as of now. Okay, say okay, but still have an error. What does it say? Invalid data type. Let's go to the advanced editor. See if we can give any data type from here. Okay, I'll give it a data type called string. A string. Okay, and that is going to be DD string. That's fine, and I will let this 50 more than enough. So I'll say okay here. Expression is empty, cannot be empty. Okay. For that reason, I'll say null. Code page. Basically, code page is 20. I have to Google for code page. I don't remember what code page is. SSIS, you data string. Okay, 1251. Okay, that's simple thing. You can Google it too. Code pages for a data string is what it would give you back. So that's information. So it is data string, and we are taking 50 characters, less 50. Okay. So then what I want to do is I want to use an OLDB command here. Okay. Using an OLDB command, now connection is going to be training again. Let's see this time if it works. Okay. And the execute statement exec, and my store procedure name was okay. Are you able to see the screen, or is it just a Visual Studio, or what exactly is happening now?
Visual Studio ne కనిపిస్తుందా?
Oh, okay. Let me share the second screen. Hold. Okay, now you can see this thing, right?
SSMS, yeah.
Yeah. So my store procedure name is this one. Need the whole of it. Then go back onto the Visual Studio. Paste it. Here I should have one output and one input parameter. So that's gonna be, I can write in this fashion. Question mark says question mark. And this is gonna be output. This is also an okay. And the column mapping, now I should see two numbers, name and output. Okay, what was it? Yeah, name. Okay. Because when I run it, the column is going to be name, right? As an example, when I ran it over here, where did I put the store procedure training database? Okay, you could. Oh, expects a parameter called output on them. Just simple thing. Hold on. when if something is asking for an output parameter, you have to execute it in that fashion, right? So I'll show you. Basically, it's just like more scripting out. You have to declare one parameter out and one parameter in, right? So for here, if I say it's a 6, basically it will return null because it doesn't have any value in the database itself, right? So now if I replace this whole information with our execute statement, this phone number, it has to return the cell phone or cell. So the basic difference between this syntax, just one liner, versus this is, it has declared an output parameter. Okay, and then they are printing the output parameter using a star statement. So that's the only difference. So just be aware of it. If something doesn't execute, what you have to do is you have to declare the output parameter first and then use it here. Okay, if you're ever using a stored procedure which has an output parameter defined. Okay, so let's go back onto this one. So first thing is it has to give an input parameter for phone number, and then phone type will have an output parameter this way. Okay, let's say okay, still has a problem. Phone number cannot convert. Okay, we can do it here. Replace the phone number type from DTW string to data conversion. Okay, so for some reason, if you ever have to do a data conversion inside the derived column, you can do that too. Using an conversion operators or typecast operators, you could do it. So from a DT string to, if you have to change it to a different format, a Unicode format to non-Unicode format, you can do it, but it's going to be simple. It's not going to be simple. It's going to be a little bit complicated conversion strategy you have to use. So for that reason, I'm going to just go back and use a data conversion here. Or you could do one more thing. If we go back onto the advanced editor, in the command input columns, if you find the data type, and there should be an option to change it. No, it's not highlighted, so you cannot change it. Yeah. So there is no option then deleting this pipeline. I'm connecting back it from here, and they want the phone number type from DTW string, a Unicode format to DT string. Okay, then no, don't, yeah, use a copy. Yes, you have no other option than doing that. It's gone, right? So now basically what happens is from your source, you give the person name and the phone number, and basically it will go using a derived column. You'll add one more column to the same source. Then from a data conversion, you'll change the data type of the phone number, and then using an OLDB, you'll write it back to a flat file. Let's write it back to a flat file. Basically, what would happen is it will tell you what kind of phone type is it by executing a store procedure. Okay. So new file type, and this is going to be fixed. Let's do a fixed data type. Until now, you have seen that delimited with delimiter. that is a comma separated file or something like that, right? So whereas fixed width is something, it will give you a space between first name and last name. The space what it would provide between those columns would be fixed. Okay, so you could see it down here. So I'll browse it, create a new file. I'll name the new file as OLDB command.txt. That's the output file. Okay, column names here, columns. It then generate it. Why? Okay, it did generate it now. Okay, so we don't need the column phone number type or both of it, right? So we have to delete one of it. One thing is you can go back onto the flat file connection manager. Okay, edit it. Okay, in the columns. Or in the advanced, you can find this one or this one. I'll find this one. Say right click and delete it, or you could choose it or delete from there itself. Okay. Now, if I go back and try to map it again, okay, this one has an email promotion too. Why would that has? So that's if we're choosing about the fifth one, fourth one, mapping. Okay, that's good. Okay, everything has mapped now. So let's go and execute the OLDB command. So basically, as soon as it executes successfully, you should see this file completed. So as of now, it's still a 0 KB, right? Once it completes, you can see it full. Because this happens as a row by row operation or a batch by batch operation, it is taking a little bit more time. Okay, so you guys have to practice it too. Don't leave it on me just telling and you guys doing nothing at home. Because SSIS seems simple, but unless you face a problem, you don't know where exactly are the options to change it and work it out. Okay, so every problem in SSIS would have at least 2 to 3 solutions. Okay, this is done. So you can stop the package and you can go back on the here. OLDB command. You could see now. Until now, you had a different option like whereas a comma separated files, you would be separated with a comma and all, right? Now you can see the spatial information and all.
ఇది క్యాలెండర్ లాగా ఉంది కదన్న.
Yeah, more of it would look like a calendar. Okay, just a second. My screen crashed. Let me pull it again. Okay, hopefully you can see it. What are you seeing? Are you seeing the OLDB? A flat file or?
Yeah, లేదన్న నోట్ ప్యాడ్.
Yeah, that's what I want you to see. Now I'll get the Visual Studio too. Okay, that's about this OLDB command. You can execute SS. You can execute the stored procedures as well as insert statements. But based on your necessity, you have to execute it. Okay.
కొంచెం లెంతీ ప్రాసెస్ అన్నది.
Why do you think it is lengthy?
అంటే అంటే ఇంటర్నల్ గా కొన్ని అవి ఇచ్చుకున్నాము కదా, అవి ఒకసారి నేను ఇది రికార్డ్ అయ్యింది, ఒకసారి పంపించగలరా తర్వాత అయినా? ఓకే అన్న, నేను ఇంకొకసారి చూస్తాను. అర్థమైంది కానీ ఒకసారి అంటే మిక్సింగ్ గా అర్థమైంది నాకు.
ఓకే. ఫస్ట్ టైం నిన్న ఓఎల్డిబి చెప్పుకున్నప్పుడు చాలా స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్ చెప్పినాం. ఏం చెప్పినాం అప్పుడు? ఒక ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్ ఉంది. ఆ ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్లో 4 కాలమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఆ 4 కాలమ్స్ లోకి వెళ్ళి వచ్చే డేటాని ఓఎల్డిబి కమాండ్ యూజ్ చేసి ఒక 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 స్టేట్మెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తున్నా. అది రో బై రోలో ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది. ఆ స్టేట్మెంట్ వచ్చేసేమో ఇన్సర్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్. జస్ట్ ఇందులోకి వెళ్ళి వచ్చే 3 వాల్యూస్ ని నేను తీసుకొని ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తున్నా, రైట్? Which can be done with an OLDB destination too.
ఓకే.
రైట్. ఇప్పుడు OLDB కమాండ్ అనేది ఏమో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్. ఇక ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ తో నేను చేశాను. సో వేరాజ్ సెకండ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లో అదే OLDB కమాండ్ కి ఇక్కడ నేను స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ రన్ చేస్తున్నా. ఇట్స్ నాట్ అ డెస్టినేషన్ ఆర్ ఇన్సర్టింగ్ థింగ్ వాట్ ఐమ్ డూయింగ్. ఐమ్ రన్నింగ్ అండ్ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్. It cannot be done with an OLDB command. No, which cannot be done with an OLDB destination. Here what I'm doing is for every single row and source, I'm trying to execute it in using an OLDB command. ఇక్కడ నుంచి వచ్చే డేటాని ప్రతి ఒక్క దానికి నేను స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ రన్ చేస్తున్నా. ఈ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్
ఓకే. ఇక్కడ మనకి డెస్టినేషన్ ఏం లేదు, జస్ట్ మీరు స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ రన్ చేశాడు. ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్. ఓకే. ఓకే. ఓఎల్డిబి సోర్స్ నుంచి తీసుకొని మళ్ళా రన్ చేసి ఓఎల్డిబి కమాండ్
అంటే సీక్వెల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ రన్ చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేస్తారు బాబు. ఓఎల్డిబి కమాండ్ అనేది సీక్వెల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ రన్ చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేస్తారు. ఆ సీక్వెల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ లో ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ అన్నప్పుడు ఈ డేటాను మ్యానిపులేషన్ చేసేది అని అర్థం బేసిక్ గా. ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ అంటే డేటాను మ్యానిపులేట్ చేయడం. ఒక అగ్రిగేట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ అంటే సమ్ మినిమం మాక్సిమం ఎట్లా చేసామో అట్లాగే ఓఎల్డి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ తోటి సీక్వెల్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ లోపల చేసేవి ఏమైనా ఉంటే చేయొచ్చు.
ఓకే.
ఒక సీక్వెల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ లోపల ఇంత పెద్ద సీక్వెల్ ఉంది, స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ లో రాసాను ఒక 100 లైన్స్ స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్, దాన్ని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తున్నా కదా ఒక్కొక్క దాంతో.
ఓకే.
ఓకే.
ఓకే అన్న.
యా. సో OLDB ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకా ఉన్నాయి కొన్ని డేటా ఫ్లో కాంపోనెంట్స్. సో between this data flow, okay, what are we running? Row count, script component, slowly changing dimension sort, union null. Okay. Let's learn about process system. Let's take what are we doing here now here?
Union null, Anna.
No, we are doing a row count after the OLDB row count, right?
Okay.
So let's take in any database. Let's take Adventure Works. So in here I'll take person table, simple one. Okay. Out of these, I don't need all the columns, but business entity area, first name, last name, email. So that's more than enough. Now I'll use a row count. So basically, a row count is nothing but a number of rows will be counted here using this transformation. From the source, it will count how many rows are being passed here. So we already know this is 19,000 rows, right? So, but to show it back, it needs some kind of variable to store it. Okay, either write it to the table or write it to a flat file or write it to a variable. That is the option, right? As row counts are pretty much an intermediate product, it doesn't want to write it to a flat file or the OLDB destination, but it want to hold it into a variable so that later you can use it somewhere else. Okay, variables in T-SQL are same as variables in SSIS. Variables is nothing but a data type. It could be an int, or it could be a varchar of 50, or it could be anything, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So for that reason, even you can double click it and it will ask for a variable. I don't have a variable, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here and say variables, and I'll create one variable, and I'll say this as an int as a variable because I know the output is going to be an int. I'll say row count, row count. Okay, so in here I'll say pick up this variable and say okay. Okay, now you know that when I execute this package, the data from here will pass to the pipeline. But before it gets here, okay, once it gets here, it will count how many rows it has been inputted, and it'll write it to this variable. Save it here until the package executes, and if package execution is done, the variable will be deleted. Okay, so I want to show you guys what does the variable value holds, right? Give me a quick second. I will do something called watch variable. Okay. Let's see if I can. No, you cannot put a breakpoint at this level, right? No. Breakpoints are generally done at control data flow level. Okay, let's say if I can add a breakpoint here, I'll say I wanted to do at a post event, post execution event. On progress break when the container receives a post execution event. So let's say use this as a breakpoint. Okay, once it has a breakpoint, what I can do is I'll go into debug, debug Windows. So I have to enable. I don't have this local menus or something like that. Where did my locals go? Output. Let's see if I can find the thing. If I execute it, locals, watch, stop this shit. You know what? There is other simple process. I'll tell you. Hold on. This is too much of stupidity. Okay. What I can do is I'll take a script component. Okay. Either script component inside uh, our data flow, or the script component from control flow task. Okay. I'll take the script component from here. You know what? I'll take a script component out from here. Okay. Scripted task. It is called script task. Okay, what is problem here? It is saying Okay, once it has counted, now I don't want to even enforce any breakpoints. So once it is done, I want it to execute a script task. Inside a script task, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to read the variable, right, which is our row count. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a statement in a C# to print it as a message box, just like pop-ups we would usually get when we try to do something, right? Okay. So here is where you have to write. Message box dot show bracket open dts dot variables square bracket double quotes. What was our variable name? It's called user row count. C small. Okay. So C#, when you're writing to C#, it is a case sensitive language. So make sure you match all the cases. Okay. So here you should say dot value, and this has to be a toString because we know. So let's see if it works. Yeah. Build solution. Okay, and close it. That's C#. Okay, let's execute it. So what has to happen is it has to go here. All the rows would come from here to here. Then it has to count it, write it to the variable, and this as a scripted task component. What does it do is it just gives us a text box saying what are the count of the rows. So let's execute it. Okay, there was an error here. So what does it say is, okay, it's not a meaningful error. Let's also do one thing. Instead of the convert is to string, then it should not have any problem. Let's run it again. So let's see it. Oh, okay. It is failing at this level. Okay, let me do one more thing. Okay. Here I have a variable called row count, which is a string. Okay, I'll also have an say rows, which is of a type int. Okay, here I'll take rows. Okay, and in the variables and the expression for the row count, what I'm going to do is I'll do a type conversion from int to string. Type conversion. Okay. Okay. From user rows, length of it can be of 5 characters. Code page 1252. Okay, a valid expression, it has a problem. What is a problem? Expression might contain an invalid or incomplete token. Okay, we're trying to convert int to string. Okay, we have to use this on the other side. That is a problem. So now if we evaluate it, it's still a problem. DT string. Okay, you don't give it a code page. And instead of DT string, convert it to a DTW string. Okay, that's 0 is fine. Okay, because it was null, that is the reason it couldn't find it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it makes sense now. So here it would be DT rows, so it knows what it is. Now if I see it, let's see if it still has any errors. So this one executes fine. Then this one throws an error again. Okay, let's go take a script task again. Our variable is a row variable, row count variable, which is of type string. Let's write the code again, see if it works. Message box dot show. Okay. dts dot variables square brackets user row count at value to string. Okay, let's build it. Right, that's it, that's it. Let's say if I put 100 here, okay, it has to say 100. I just execute this task, it is saying 100. Okay, so that means it's working fine. So let's execute it all together. So it's 19,972. So all the rows from here have been row counted, and the row count has been stored in an int variable, which was our this variable, and then using a row count using an expression, this is converted back into a string so that this can display it, right? So this displaying object is this one. Okay, so does it make any sense to you guys now? Ram?
అన్న అర్థమైందన్న అది
Yeah, it's clear, right? There was some kind of problem in there, but it was okay. Basically, we learned few things here. What was that? We were trying to, without using a data conversion task, we converted an int to a string, right? Which we could have been, which we could do it in multiple ways. One of it could be an execute SQL task too. Okay, let's assume if we have to do the same package using an execute SQL task sometimes, what we can do is we would supply this variable to an execute SQL task, and that would help us to convert it. Okay, but this is not the case, so let's not get in too detail about it. Okay, so that's about the row component. We'll take one more data flow task. Script component slowly changing dimension. Sorting now. Okay. So let's say use script component now.
సార్ట్ అంటే నేను మనం ఎప్పుడు వాడేది సార్ట్ అదే కదన్నా?
Yeah, that is the sort. So script component is something which will help you to write either C# code or or VB code inside an SSIS package. Okay, let's say okay, using a derived column or a derived column, you could do a lot of manipulations, such as you're adding two columns, or you could do almost everything. Such even if you want a full name, or with the first name and last name being added together, or you want to say just a first name having first letter as a capital, you could still do it, right? With a data conversion task, where you'll find first letter of that particular column, and then you'll upcase it, right? So let's assume there is a case wherein which you cannot do anything from an inbuilt variables. Okay, whatever SSIS has provided in there from an transformation standpoint, you cannot achieve it. Then what are you going to do? You have to have a way where you can write your own component. All right? Does it make any sense? అర్థమైందా రామకృష్ణ?
అన్నా
నేను అడిగిన హలో, అర్థమైందా అసలు అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్?
అది స్క్రిప్ట్ కాంపోనెంట్ మీకు అర్థమైందా అని అడిగారు. అది జస్ట్ మనకి C# ఆర్ వివి కోడింగ్ రాసుకోవడానికి
రైట్. సి షార్ప్ ఆర్ వివి కోడ్ రాసుకోనికి అవసరం వస్తుంది. ఎట్లాంటి టైంలో అని అడుగుతున్నా. సో ఎట్లాంటి టైంలో అంటే లెట్స్ సే ఇప్పుడు డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంది. డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్ ఏం చేయగలుగుతుంది? నువ్వు ఆల్మోస్ట్ 70% ఆఫ్ యువర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ సాల్వ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఏంది, ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ ని లాస్ట్ నేమ్ ని కాంకైట్ చేయాలంటే చేస్తుంది డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్. అట్లనే ఒక డేటా టైప్ కన్వర్షన్ చేయమంటే చేస్తుంది. నల్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయమంటే చేస్తుంది. సో అట్లా ఆల్మోస్ట్ హండ్రెడ్స్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ చేయగలుగుతుంది. బట్ లెట్స్ సే దేర్ ఇస్ అ సిచ్యువేషన్ దట్ ఇట్ కెనాట్ డూ ఇట్. ఓకే, వన్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ కుడ్ బి ఏం సిచ్యువేషన్ అని చెప్పచ్చు. నల్ ఉంటే రిప్లేస్ చేయమంటే అది కూడా చేసేస్తుంది. కానీ ఏం చేయొచ్చు? ఓహో, ఒక టైప్ ఆఫ్ కోడ్ ఏదైనా చెప్పాలా? ఓ సినారియో ఏమన్నా మనకే ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చేయలేనిది. సో సింపుల్ గా ఇదే తీసుకుందాం. ఏది ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లేకపోతే ఫుల్ నేమ్ ఉందో ఏదైతే ఉందో, ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లేకపోతే ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లాస్ట్ నేమ్ ఉన్నాయి కదా పర్సన్ టేబుల్ లో, దాన్ని రెండింటిని జాయిన్ చేసి ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లో ఉన్న ఫస్ట్ లెటర్ ని క్యాపిటల్ చేసిలో, లేకపోతే లాస్ట్ నేమ్ లో ఉన్న ఫస్ట్ లెటర్ ని క్యాపిటలైజ్ చేసిలో, అట్లాంటిది స్ట్రింగ్ అట్లాంటి ఫంక్షన్ వాడదాం.
ఓకే, అది
ఓకే, అదే డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్ లో చేయాలంటే ఎట్లా చేస్తావు? హౌ కెన్ యూ డూ ఇట్ ఇన్ డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్?
ఎక్కడ మన మేనేజ్మెంట్ స్టూడియోలోనా?
డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్ SSIS లో ఉందా, SSIS లో ఉందా?
డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్ మనకి SSIS లో ఉంది కదన్నా. SSIS లో కూడా ఉంది. SSIS ఉంది, అక్కడ ఉంది, కింద ఉందా అది డిరైవ్డ్ కాలమ్స్. దాంట్లో ఫుల్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చేసేసి దాంట్లో ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లాస్ట్ నేమ్ పెడతాం.
ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లాస్ట్ నేమ్ పెడతావు. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లో ఫస్ట్ లెటర్, లాస్ట్ నేమ్ లో ఫస్ట్ లెటర్ క్యాపిటల్ ఉండాలనుకో, అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి?
మనం మార్చుకోవచ్చు కదా అక్కడ కింద కాలమ్ చేంజెస్ లో మన కింద